Fear the unknown. Fear your dreams. Fear what's real. Fear what hides in the shadows. Mike Horan's Remnant. Coming soon.
So welcome to Remnant HQ. My name is Mike Horan, Director of Outlaw Films and Executive Producer, Writer and Director of the independent feature film Remnant. With me today is my partner in crime, Andrew Davis. How you going, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, Mike. So yeah, I'm Andrew Davis. I'm serving as producer on the film as well as editor.
So in this series of video podcasts, we aim to give you an insight into the production of a low-budget, independently produced feature film. From concept to script, talent search, cast and crew, marketing and crowdfunding, and interviews with our amazing cast and crew. We will also be producing a series of behind-the-scenes videos, which will include extensive coverage of our special effects makeup, on-the-set production updates, and post-production, including scoring the movie Remnant. So let's talk a little bit about Remnant. Remnant is a passion project which I've been working on for the past 5 years. It's been a long time coming.
A long time in the making, yeah.
It has. I'd describe Remnant as a horror sci-fi thriller in the style of Italian director Dario Argento, who was famous for Deep Red and Suspiria, among many others. Music is also a very important part of the film. Remnant is definitely influenced by the amazing themes by John Carpenter and the Italian band The Goblins, who are famous for composing music for some of Dario Argento's classic movies. So first, let's delve into the background of Andrew and I and tell you where our love for movies came from. So Andrew, it's over to you. Where did your love for movies come from?
Oh, probably thank my dad for that. I remember just being a little kid and he'd sort of take me and my sister to the video shop of a Friday afternoon after school. Back when they were still around and thriving, of course. But, he sort of always found himself venturing towards the horror section. And being the little kid that I was, I would sort of used to follow him down there and find out what he was looking at. And I just remember standing in the aisle there and sort of seeing all these first generation VHS releases from like Village Roadshow and CEL and seeing all these really cool, gruesome images that they were sort of shy about putting on the sleeve back then. And just as a kid, I knew there was something definitely different about being here than compared to your average family movies that I was sort of used to watching. And sort of like you'd be wandering into the rough end of town and sort of trying to figure out what to make heads or tails of it. But Dad would sort of come up behind me and say something like, "Oh, if you want to grab that movie, you can watch that. Like, there's nothing wrong with that." And it was like American Werewolf in London and Evil Dead and Hellraiser. There's the movies that I was sort of introduced to at a young age, and that sort of got me interested in films in the first place. And then later on, I remember the DVD era came around, and sort of you could be able to see these making of documentaries and interviews with the cast and crew, and that's really when I started to appreciate it as an art form and a craft, and sort of see the whole process and all the effort and work that went into making films happen was really sort of inspiring to me, and maybe sort of want to do something like that myself. And it sort of led me to the path that I'm on now. But it really began just by watching movies that were not really suitable for children, but who knew that at the time? So later on, a little bit after that, it was sort of I did my diploma in media and communication when I was studying at TAFE, and one of the aspects of the course was filmmaking that I've studied there as well. And that sort of re-sparked the passion again, because I'd sort of spent a few years trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, and I felt that sort of getting my diploma was a step in the right direction. But remember, you were the one that sort of taught that unit, Mike, on filmmaking. So there's a bit of a coincidence there. But
yes, definitely.
So I wrote and directed my own short film as part of the student-led festival that we had to put on that year, and that was in West Ryde. And that was really beneficial as a starting point in my career.
Oh, look, definitely. I mean, that was a wonderful time that with Real Event, which is what the festival was called, where students had to produce their own short film, but also they had to work on the marketing of the festival as well. So it was a great opportunity to get all-round experience as well. And of course, Andrew's film was the standout that night as well. So
Still getting accolades all these years later.
look, it's just amazing what you can do, isn't it? So my background's very similar. My father was also a very big influence on my passion for film, and spending many nights at the movies and drive-ins. And we also, one night a week, we also did a film appreciation course at the University of New South Wales, which was also a lot of fun. So growing up in the 60s and 70s, I lived on a diet of Hammer films and American International Pictures, and you can see why I became passionate about horror and sci-fi films. In those days, video cameras weren't readily available yet, so armed with my Super 8 camera, I made many horror and sci-fi films. I even made miniature sets for my sci-fi films and props for mutilated bodies, and it was just so much fun, and I learned so much there. So then when video stores opened, well, I couldn't wait to see the latest horror masterpiece from production companies like Empire Films and Full Moon, movies like Parasite and Reanimator, to name a few, rushing down there after work on a Friday afternoon to get in and get the new releases before everybody else was sort of the highlight of leading into the weekend, which was, a lot of fun. So films were being a huge part of my life, so naturally I wanted a career in the film and TV industry. So firstly, I went into theatrical distribution at Filmways, and one of the films we had was a John Carpenter film, The Fog, which was fantastic. So going to the premiere of that, and that was quite amazing at the time. Down George Street, we had George Street blocked off at the time, and we had fog machines and dead pirates walking down the street and things like that. So it was a lot of fun. So yeah, it was great memories. So from there, I worked at Grundy's, and Grundy's produced a lot of TV shows and the like as well. And I was working on shows like Young Doctors, Prisoner, and Neighbours, to name a few. I was also production manager for Prime TV, where I produced hundreds and hundreds of television commercials. And also I run my own production company, Horror Media, and for the past 16 years I've been teaching film and TV at TAFE, which is where Andrew and I first met way back then. So I hope you'll join us on this incredible journey. We've got many more fantastic episodes coming up with some very creative people. You can keep up with all the action on our Facebook page, the Remnant, the movie website, and also the Outlaw Films website as well. And really, we want you to get involved, ask a lot of questions, and watch this space and find out how you can be involved in Remnant through our crowdfunding campaign, which will be coming up later on this year. So we look forward to seeing you next time when we discuss the concept and script of Remnant. So any last words from you, Andrew?
Yeah, I just want to end on that note. I just sort of, amongst other things, I hope that this podcast sort of serves as an inspiration for sort of up-and-coming filmmakers to sort of never give up on their dreams and just sort of keep pursuing what they really want to do. Because it's taken me a long time to sort of get to the position I'm in, but I sort of had that drive that's been keeping me going all this time. And, we've sort of a lot of obstacles that we know we've overcome already, just getting to this stage of Remnant. But
Definitely,
there's a lot that we're going to anticipate coming up at the moment, especially with this lockdown and in the middle of a worldwide pandemic. But, you just keep persevering and eventually you'll get to where you want to be. So, just hope people take that message away from it.
Exactly. I couldn't say it better myself. Well, everyone be safe, and we look forward to seeing you in episode 2.
See you next time.